welcome back to my channel. If you haven't been here before, my name is Poppy and this is my channel all about knitting, crocheting, general craftiness and a bit of life stuff added in. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you so much if you're coming back. It's been so nice making these videos. This really today is just another cozy chat really. I've got a cup of coffee in my You Are My Fave mug, which I believe is Oliver Bonner's. And if I could just live my life buying everything from there, then I would be very happy. Slightly off topic, but Oliver Bonner's have got such an amazing array of knitwear at the moment. So many vests, just amazing colours. Every time I go in there, it's just mega inspo time. And also we were in Bath at the weekend, like I told you I was going to do in my last video, and went into Urban Outfitters. So much knitwear in there as well, just vests everywhere. And there was a really nice colour work effect yellow cardigan. There's just so much nice stuff in there. Yeah, which made me very happy. So hello, welcome. I hope you're all okay. I have had a really nice week so far. So we went to Bath at the weekend for a Mother's Day trip. That was really nice. We saw my parents for lunch the next day. I've bought some yarn and I've bought some other things. So I will talk about those things in the acquisitions section. I haven't got any finished objects. I don't know if I'm a slow knitter or if I'm just, I don't know. Some people seem to have finished objects all the time, but spoiler alert, that's not going to be me. But I do have some things that I'm working on. The first project is April's Vest by Vicky Knits. I am doing what I'm trying to do, a kind of knit with me project vlog video on this, although I'm not entirely sure it'll ever see the light of day. So I'm going to show you on this one as well, or instead of. So here it is. I have done the front panel, and it looks like this. I'm using Sheepy's Stonewashed XL, which is 70% cotton, 30% acrylic. I really like the yarn. It's knitting up to be really plush and really bouncy, which is kind of not what you really expect from a cotton yarn. It's really soft and non-irritating. So yeah, I'm really happy with that. I'm knitting it on 6mm needles, so it is going really fast. So yeah, so I've done the front panel and I am here on the back. The pattern sorry, I've dropped my other project. The pattern just calls for you to do exactly the same amount of ribbing on the back, but I think that it's going to be quite short, so I might do a dropped hem. So this is where I am. This is where I am with the back, and this is the front. So I might knit like another half again, so that when you join it, kind of got this kind of dropped hem effect, but we will see. I've got plenty of yarn, so it should be fine. My thoughts on the pattern so far is that it's great. I'm really enjoying it. It's quite an easy, beginner friendly pattern, so it's not stretching me particularly. I think the garment's going to be really wearable. My one concern is that the pattern calls for you just to knit the back panel the same as you knit the front. Apart from when you get to the neckline, on the front panel, you knit a bit of shaping here for the neckline. But on the back panel, it's literally just straight across. And I already know when I used to sew, I used to have to do a forward shoulder adjustment. Otherwise, everything would be kind of up here. And I know that knitting patterns without any shoulder or back neck shaping tend to pull the front up. And I don't really know if I want that. So I'm umming and ahhing about what adjustment to make. Maybe you could lend me your thoughts. So I could either just mirror what I've done on the front, So just kind of do exactly the same, and then the back will sit a little bit lower. Or I could add some short rows in. I've only ever done short rows on in the round projects. I haven't done them on flat knitting. And so I don't know if it's kind of the same thing or not. I'm going to have to do a bit of research. So I was thinking that I could knit up to, I don't know, like 3 inches below where you're supposed to finish, and then do some short rows to kind of, just add a bit more fabric coming here. So if you've made that kind of adjustment before, or if you have any thoughts on that, or any links to anything helpful, please do send them my way. I would be eternally grateful. But I'm excited about finishing this project. Ideally, I would like to kind of be at that point by the end of the weekend, because I'd like to start wearing this. But I have been slightly distracted by my second project. So I'll grab that in a second. Let me just drink some caffeine. So I have cast something new on, which has come as a surprise to me. And it's a sock. Who knew that I would, after saying in basically every episode, I'm not a sock knitter, I'm not a sock knitter, I felt the urge. Part of the inspiration was the fact that I'm going to the Big Flock, and I just keep seeing all this amazing sock yarn and amazing sock sets that I talked about last time. So I thought, okay, well, let's try knitting a sock and see if I do like it, because then it kind of frees up some of my budget for one amazing skein or one amazing sock set. So that was part of the inspiration. But I also think when I was last knitting, so about, 6 years ago, we were very much in the trainer sock era. So socks, it wasn't like fashionable to have your socks on display really over your trainers with a pair of skinny jeans. That just wasn't the vibe. Whereas now I'm all about socks and my trainers. And so I think I'm more excited about knitting socks because I really like funky socks with trainers, or, over leggings or whatever. And so that the kind of wanting to work on it is because I want the finished object. It's not just a process thing now. I really want to be able to make lots of jazzy socks to wear. So I am now knitting a sock, which is very odd, and I didn't think I would be doing it. Thoughts so far. So I'm using a free pattern on Ravelry by Summer Lee called Basic Sock Number 1. And it is a cuff down sock, and the pattern calls for a heel flap and gusset, which I know is kind of the most complex of the heels, but I do think it gives a good fit. So I'm just going to follow the pattern and see how it goes. I am using 2.25mm needles. I can't decide whether I should or could go up a needle size. So this, I don't know how well you're going to see, this is the fabric that it's creating. So it is a really lovely, dense fabric, as it should be, because the needles feel tiny. And but I had to, so the pattern calls for casting60 63 stitches, I think. That was looking way too small, so I ripped it out, and I think I've cast on 66 stitches, because it's a knit 2 purl 1 rib. So I've cast on 66 stitches, which looks better, but I just wondered if I was, say, using a 2.5 needle, whether I would have needed to do that. I don't know. What's your needle of choice? I don't want the fabric to feel gappy and uncomfortable when I'm wearing it, so I like the fact that the fabric's really dense. But I'd love to hear all about your sock knitting specifics. But yes, I'm enjoying it. The only thing is it does make my hands hurt a little bit just because of the small gauge. And then when I go back to knitting on my vest pattern, it just feels amazing. God, these massive needles. But I am enjoying it. I think my intention, if I continue to knit socks, is to knit 2 concurrently. I don't think I could get my head around knitting 2 at a time on one big circular needle. So I have got another pair of the same size needles. So once I've knitted this one prototype sock, I intend then to knit 2 concurrently for all my further sock knitting. I'm knitting contrasting ribbing. This is just an unknown mini that I got with a yarn advent calendar years ago. But I like the colour next to the minty green. This is Knit Picks sock yarn, and it's the cucumber colourway, and I really like it. I like the fact that it's kind of got that heathered tonal look to it. Yes. So I'm now a sock knitter. Well, I'm a knitter of a cuff and a small part of leg. We'll see how it continues, but it is so portable and easy to take around. So not that I'm really taking my knitting anywhere at the moment, but should I want to, I'm trying to convince one of my friends to start knitting with me. So if that happens, then it'll be such a portable project. And there is a Stitch and Bitch actually not that far from me. They do it once a month in a local cafe, so I might be brave and go along to that, because I definitely miss kind of chatting with knitters. So yeah, we'll see. I'll report back if I do that, because I think that would be super fun. Okay, so that's what I'm working on. Still no progress on the crochet blanket. This is always the way for me. I do like crochet, but knitting always seems to take priority. But I will get back on the blanket, and really it doesn't need to be finished or anywhere near finished until autumn, because it's getting warm now. So that's fine. I'm trying not to feel any guilt about that. That leads me on to acquisitions. I feel like I'm steaming ahead, but let's talk about my acquisitions. So I went to Bath on Saturday and I went to Wool. I'm really enjoying this bag. It says this bag contains wool, and it does. I was very restrained. I only really intended, oh, that's crinkly, sorry. I only really intended to get the yarn for one project because it was a treat, a present off my other half, so I didn't want to go bonkers. And yeah, I could have spent a lot longer in the shop than I did, but I was very aware that I had my little boy and my partner with me, and I couldn't concentrate, and I felt like I couldn't just take ages and ages and ages to look at everything. So I kind of had an idea what I wanted. I had various projects noted down, and this is what I ended up with. So this is, oh, look at that green. It's quite a yellowy green, which I hope is going to be okay. I've done one of these online, what colours suit you, which is great, but now I feel like it's putting me off buying some colours that I really like. So it's not as good, but anyway. It's Fyberspates, and it's 45% silk and 55% merino, and it is so soft and squidgy, and yeah, it's beautiful. I love the colour, and it's got that gorgeous sheen on it that you get from silk. So I've got 2 skeins of that, which should be just about enough to make the Sew Summer shirt by Jessie Made Designs. And that's, you know, it's a simple t-shirt, but I think using that yarn will transform it into a really special piece. So I am going to wait until I have cast off April's vest before I cast that on, but that's going to be my next project, my next garment project. I can't recommend Wool Bath highly enough. It's such a lovely shop. They've got a really good variety of you know, really high-end yarns, but also more affordable yarns, lots of range of fibres, accessories. The owner is lovely, really knowledgeable and friendly, and it is kind of right in the centre of Bath as well, so it's not too difficult to find. So if you're ever in Bath, highly recommend. It's a lovely shop, and I'm going there soon, hopefully to get, not to the yarn shop, I'm going to Bath soon, hopefully to get my first tattoo. So I'm hoping that I can work in another trip to the yarn shop. But I also need to save some pennies for the big flop, and we're going on holiday in May. Sorry, cat situation, thank you. We're going on holiday at the end of May to the Netherlands, and we're hopefully going to be visiting Amsterdam. So I need money then for yarn there. Hoping to go to Stephen and Penelope's and anywhere else that there may be. So I can't keep buying yarn all the time. I need to save up some money. But I do have one more acquisition that's currently being sat on by a cat. Excuse me. Excuse me. I bought a sock book. So this is by Summer Lee, who has some amazing patterns on Ravelry. She was the designer behind the sock pattern that I put, I don't know, I talked about in one of my other videos, the Comfort sock set or Comfort Core collection, which was a really kind of sporty sock with contrasting lines around it. Yeah, so I saw this, and this has really inspired me as well in terms of wanting to knit more. I'll show you a couple of patterns that I really like. So the pattern that I'm following at the moment is this one, basic sock. You can get this for free on Ravelry as well. So I think that's quite a generous pattern because it goes through like all the heel flap and gusset and all that kind of thing in detail, and I think she's also got a YouTube video on it, so that's very good. So it's split into different sections. So it's the basic sock section where she goes through different constructions. So she does the afterthought heel, German short rows, one that I've never heard of before, which is, what's it called? Bear with me. The Flegel heel. So this is a toe-up sock with a Flegel heel. Who knows? And there's another, is there another one that she's done, which is, I don't know. Lots of people knit their socks toe up. What's your preference? I think I've made one toe-up sock. Anyway, she does various different constructions in the basic section. Then she goes through caring for your socks. And then we get onto the striped sock section. And I really enjoy, there's one that I really, really like, which I think is called the Breton Stripes. Just, hopefully you can see this. How nice are they? I think you would just, you could find a pair of something like that in kind of Boden or Oliver Bonner's or somewhere really high end. I like those a lot. So that's another potential for when if I continue my sock knitting journey. And then she goes on to textured socks. So I really like these. I really like the stripes on the ribbing. Like there's a lot. Oh, these are nice as well. Look at those. So yeah, so she does texture and then she does colour work. I love those. And there's another pair of colourwork ones that look amazing. I just don't know if I'm ever going to be able to make colourwork socks, but anyway, I can highly recommend. It's a really good book. She's got another one as well, which I will also put a link to. But I found it very inspiring. It's made me want to knit lots of socks. So that is it for acquisitions, I think. Have I bought anything else? No, that is it for acquisitions. And I think that's probably it for the knitting content now. In terms of anything else that I've been doing, I did my first wedding last week of the season and that went really well. I might insert some little clips so you can see what I did. It was a really lovely springy pinky wedding. Very nice. Now what I've been watching. Do you care about this section? I don't know. I have been rewatching The Summer I Turned Pretty. Not groundbreaking recommendation, but I just love it so much. It makes me feel really summery. I think the combination of the sun being out and watching that, I love the soundtrack. It's kind of 80% Taylor Swift. And then I was actually reading an article about why the Summer I Turned Pretty is so popular with people my age, so kind of 30s, late 30s. And they do use some songs kind of from when I was a teenager. So for example, they use Teenage Dirtbag, which is so kind of encapsulates a moment in time for people of my age, I think. And it was a really interesting article. She kind of was saying that the two main boys in it, I suppose like all the boys really in it, are kind of the boys that we wished we'd had when we were younger. You know, kind of awareness of how we treat each other and consent and all that kind of stuff has come on so much from when I was younger. And I think that the boys in this show, it allows our like inner teenagers to be like, oh, that's nice. So yeah, it was an interesting article. If I can find it, I might link it. Very niche, a niche read. But I recommend the TV show if you're looking for something light and distracting and you feel like you want to feel young again. It is a good show. If you have any recommendations for TV I should be watching, please do let me know because I love to hear about it. Other than that, I think that's kind of it. This week I'm working at my other job quite a bit, so I'm doing some extra days, so that's nice. And yes, I think other than that, I'm just kind of waiting now for the big flock. I've got a couple of weddings in a couple of weeks, so I need to do some work on those today, tidy the house, all that good stuff. Okay. Thank you so much for watching. If you would like to subscribe, please do. It would mean a lot to me. And if not, then maybe I'll see you again sometime soon. Bye.